Hello again. I'm going to do a second one there of that island with the lighthouse on it. Just seeing as I'm set up here now, I thought I'd just turn in another direction. And I think you can see okay. Yeah, great stuff. So I'm doing the island with the lighthouse on it there. And I'll probably just use paint mostly because this is just a board now, like, with some gesso on it. So there's my paint. Well, that's good, you can see that, right. The water is here, and the wind is picking up. Speaking of water, I need a good drink myself. So I'd looked through the viewfinder, and I reckon that it's gonna, what'll I do now? I think, yes, I want to get the full island in. Well, actually no, not the full island, the full left bit with the lighthouse on it. I'm closing one eye and looking through and seeing where I want the horizon line to be. So I'm wanting there to be about a third sky, and I'm going to start with that. There's a plan. So the third of it will be occupied with sky. And I've got my towel that I was using for swimming there that I'm just going to use now for paint. We've got plenty of towels anyway in the house. As I noticed, I finally got to the bottom of the laundry the other night, another late night 3 a.m. kind of stint. Got to the bottom of the laundry and I kind of thought, jeez, what are we doing with all the towels? Like, and none of them are the kind of fluffy kind that you really want to hold on to. They're all fairly well worn. So I'm bringing the sky down to third of the way down, knowing that I can bring the island to overlap the sky. So this is really just a kind of starting point, starting colour. And it's acrylic that I'm using. No, I've mixed acrylic. Pink, blue, it's ultramarine blue, and I think it's is it manganese pink, is there such a thing? I don't know. Anyway, it's pink and blue for the sky. And I'm going to let that brush get clean in there and pick up another brush now for will I do the sea with that? So we've got the island here, and I reckon like the lighthouse itself might be located, you know, about there. And then so there'll be the sea here. Now let me see if I can get the colour of the sea. Can you see the colours? Yeah, you can kind of, can't you? See most of it. I'm going to mix a couple of blues there. That's bright, isn't it? I'm kind of liking it though. Still, it'll need to be knocked back a touch, like, so it's a bit of burnt sienna into it will give me more of a sea green colour. Scottish sea green colour. I think what I had was more a Bali sea green colour. I haven't been doing an awful lot of I haven't put a lot of gesso on there. It's only just a couple of layers. In fact, it's just one layer. It's really fine. The sand is going to enhance it, I think. No, I want more blue. I think they're worried about them flinging sand on this. I mean, if they knew me, I'd be saying that would be a good thing. Because actually there is sand everywhere here. No, ultramarine blue. It's not a bit like a kind of careful painting, is it? But then you can't really be careful when you're out in a boat, like, well, within reason I suppose you can. Alright, I'll stop talking now for a second. So there's the island. I think I might see a tiny bit of water, especially as the tide is coming in now. As the painting progresses, we might see more and more water. And then, it's to be kind of sensible, wouldn't it, to start with the darks, do you think? Well, now I'm going to go on to the darks. So, what I consider to be the darks is the island itself. It's quite a dark shape. So I'm going to mix the raw umber. No, it's burnt umber today. And this, I'm going to get the colour of that green. It's called Windsor Blue. The colour of that blue, I mean. Windsor Blue. So the Windsor Blue mixed with the burnt umber is going to be the beginning of the island. And it's not at all right, so I'm putting in some burnt in it to knock the blue out of the green. There we are, that's better. Okay, so then we've got the stone there, which actually has more burnt umber in it. And then with my eyes half closed, I'm just going to find what I see to be the shape of this, to really get the character of this part of the island. Get the size as well as I can first. Of course, the paint is drying a little bit more swiftly than it normally would for me because of the wind and the sun. Outdoors here, it's lovely. Spider joining us. And my name is Anya Devine. If you want to know more about me, have a look at the links below. And if you're in Scotland, in the area of Midlothian especially, or the Edinburgh area especially, then you might be interested to join me for a workshop in August. We've got a week-long summer school coming up in Kilkenzie. Bye-bye, spider. No, it's taken too long altogether here, for God's sake. Let's just get it splashed in. And I'm going to use the clean, damp brush to excavate out a little bit more clearly the shape. There. And there's actually land, the distant land beyond there. I've got a rag here, I didn't need to be using my towel after all. Clean piece of rag each time to wipe away that sky coming down to meet the distant landscape there. It's okay. I mean, I can paint the landscape in later on. No, I'm going to continue using this to wipe away because it's working for me. I'm just going to wipe away there. And there's something about the wiped away edge that I really like, especially for this subject. It seems to give a kind of a weather-beaten feel to the island. You can feel the weather. This is Fiddra, if my geography is right. A bit more colour. Bit more colour there. There's actually charcoal on the end of this, you know. Quite a nice thing to draw, but you know, that piece of land comes right up almost to the edge of the island. The charcoal is, because it was stuck in the water the wrong way down, it's wobbly. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the charcoal and I'm going to stick on yellow ochre oil pastel instead of the charcoal so that I can draw with that. Is that a good idea? I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to just stick it onto the end of the brush. The reason I want to do that is because there's a different character to the mark when it's when you're restricted by the length of the handle of the brush. Something organic comes in. No oil pastel and masking tape probably won't work. That's okay. It's steady enough so far. Okay, so that's that piece of land there. It's up a bit higher. And I'm going to do another one because I want a darker one as well. Sorry about this now, I'm kind of taking a little while to my tools ready. Found a burnt sienna chalk that I'm going to stick on to the paintbrush too, because I think the chalk might allow me to draw a little bit more freely. We'll see. It'll give me a kind of surprising mark, and hopefully it'll do something different again. It's a nice thin mark, but it's got a little bit more delicacy coming in with that. Right, so I need to now do something for the just get more colour on there for this. It's dark here. It's not green though, is it? It needs to be more brown than green. So I'll just wash the brush. Yeah, I'm going to put a bit of yellow ochre, burnt sienna into that green. Need more yellow ochre, more burnt sienna I mean. A bit of blue. What am I doing that for? To make it green again, for goodness sake. I really need more burnt umber. There we are. We have enough of it. That's good. Okay. So with my eyes half closed now, I'm noticing that this is darker than the sand, but lighter, darker than the sand below it, and darker than the sea above it. So the sea above it, I think, needs to be made a little bit brighter. And I'll probably do that with oil pastel. I just enjoy using oil pastel for that kind of thing. Slight fine-tuning character. That was the wrong word there. Slight fine-tuning that happens after, I think, is done best with oil pastel. This kind of thing anyway. For this kind of subject. For flowers and things at home, I sometimes would use oil paint itself rather than oil pastel, just to really get the bite of things. No, for the background landscape, I want to put something in this that's not going to demand attention, but it's going to be something different than the sky. So I'm going to go for something more, ultramarine-ish than anything else, and I can water it down to make it lighter. And I know I've got the grey oil pastel that's similar to that, so it'll work. There we are. Don't want there to be such a clean edge for some reason. I think it's maybe okay though, because the sky might end up with more texture later. So let's see, we're putting the land behind. That's over in, that's probably Fife over there. Kingdom of Fife. I'm just lifting off, so it's not quite that bright. Speaking of bright, I just noticed these lovely fields now on the island are kind of showing up. These little bits of light green are coming into the fore suddenly. And then there's some yellow ochre areas on the run up to the lighthouse too. No, let me make some sand colour. I've had practice now with the last video, so you would imagine, famous last words, that it'll come quickly and easily this time. If I had a credit card or my IKEA family card I used to use, I would lather it on with that, or even a bit of paper maybe, because I feel like I want to make something, a big bold statement, and the brushes just kind of don't. Why don't I just tear up the viewfinder? Let's see now if this will work. There's the sand. It's a bit darker here though. I need to make it a bit darker there. Reveal this again. You can see. I mean, I know it's not like TV quality, but you can see okay, can't you? You're able to see okay there. The sound is a bit more muted in colour there, I thought. So this is burnt umber and raw sienna now. No, it's not. It's burnt umber and burnt sienna. We'll just use the stick dipped in ink again to do something at the edge. Don't know if that's working there really. Just feel like something needs to be refined. When you hold the stick up vertically, it runs more freely. That's why there was a bit of a blob there. But I kind of wanted it to be darker in that bit, so that's why I held the stick up there. I think I need to spread it out a little bit, maybe with a cloth in a minute, or a brush. And then there's the sea coming in nicely there. And these bits of, see, those bits of seaweed now could be explained like that. It's darkening that down a bit, darkening there. And dark here.
What is it? No, not around the edges, because that's pushing it down. Get out. Get out.
Right, now what next? I suppose the lighthouse is a significant feature there. And stick it in. It's not that bright. It's not white as the clouds behind. So I'm gonna make some more of the blue sky and the clouds. I think even some parts of the sea could have that quality of mark too, maybe this one.
No, just stop doing it, Rhiannon. No, stop. Mom! No, Rhiannon keeps pulling, chatting, Rex. No, she keeps
Well, no, there you go. Memories of my childhood there. I was on the receiving end and the giving end of both of those. I can remember that, doing something and it being wrecked by my younger siblings and being the wrecker. What a shame.
No, because then they'll join together and that'll be awesome.
No, it's cold oil pastel that I think will work for the cliffs back there a little bit. Maybe. There's a lot of gannets out there today. You could hear them earlier. Now, I wonder is that gold going to work for sand as well? It's a bit more peachy. Yeah, it's a bit more peachy. Let's see if this colour is going to work. The foreground sand, maybe. I think that needs to be mixed with yellow ochre or even possibly bright orange. But no, it's yellow ochre it needs, or crayon. This light orange crayon would be the job. I'd say I'm probably blocking your view now a lot of the time here. Sorry about that if it's the case. I've got a colour here that looks like the sea a wee bit. That's a kind of a silver oil pastel. I think it's a bit like the sky there. I hope this isn't boring now. Like, I'm just having a lot of fun here, and I'm feeling that I'm getting myself really absorbed in it. And I'm kind of, as a result, not saying an awful lot then, like. There needs to be a kind of a sweep of slightly darker sand going that way. And I'd say that could be merged maybe with this peachy colour. Oh, it's called peach. It's not really peach coloured. Alright, now I'm going to do the lighthouse, am I? Yeah, the lighthouse is nice and bright now. It was actually brighter than the sky behind now. So I'm going to get my bright oil pastel.
Wait, for 2 seconds.
Okay, so with my eyes half closed now,
I just need to
one
try
side.
this. Yeah, it'll be fine. You just need to dig. Leave this bit. Do not dig here. So dig.
One side brighter than the other. I could just even use the charcoal as a way of explaining the I can't find the charcoal, so I'm just going to use the ink.
I think we're stained. Do you? Yeah. No, they said that, but I got another night at camping and they said I put it all in there.
Okay, now for the top of the lighthouse. Oh, that's too black altogether. I can fine tune it later on, I suppose. Just put it in for a start. And you know, there's a gap in the rock there, like a doorway. Quite a nice thing to explain with some paint, maybe. Even just a flash of this blue. Okay, now I can paint the sky up to meet that. Gosh, it's lovely now. The lighthouse is shining up brightly and the sky behind it is significantly greyer than the lighthouse is. So let me just do the grey sky behind. And now, how am I going to do the white? The lighthouse again. Not really bright enough, is it?
Can you empty these bits out? Can you empty this out?
It takes a while, you know. There's a certain kind of
Just don't wreck.
pushing and pulling, isn't there? I think I need I was thinking there that I was needing a pencil or something, you know, just to draw around the white of the lighthouse. It might be that this would be even enough just to kind of excavate after putting the white on, to then go back in and make it a bit more shapely. Kind of working. And then there's the little cap at the top of the lighthouse. Bit of shadow here. I think I need to draw back and check the bigger picture out. And that bit at the top is characteristic of a lighthouse, but I don't want it to be too stark a dark. Maybe we'll bring some darks in elsewhere. The dark here. I wanted a pencil because I don't think that the ink is, I think it's too dark for the top of the lighthouse and any details on the lighthouse. And I think that the lighthouse does need to be made a feature for me anyway. It's one of the things that I kind of was drawn to when I positioned the lighthouse when I positioned the lighthouse on the painting, or even positioning the island was made, it was kind of placed with regard to the lighthouse. There's a yellow ochre bit on the lighthouse, and then there's just do that. That's okay, for God's sake. We can use the grey again for the sky. You're still there, you're still there. Jeez, fair play to the iPad, it's still going strong. Oh, and there's a little green caterpillar thingy that's making its way up the page now. Touch of this in for the yellowcraigs sand. I think I've used this before here, you know, this particular piece of collage, that particular pattern anyway.
Stop throwing it, you're getting it in the face, or you won't be doing it anymore. That bit needs to be deeper, as soon as that needs to stay up high. That's where our head's going to be. Don't chuck it up here, Rihanna. I'm trying to make a hole. Use your hands and go flat. That's having to do, you're not doing it. Put your hands up. Yeah, because you're the cleaner out. Sit where I am. There, with your knees like this. No, this side. See? That's why you need to sit at this side. Because it's caved in. Take that out. And go like this. And then like that. With hands. Like this. Your knees need to be sturdy into the ground. Where you both hands. You can play in this when it's done. Yeah or no? I'm making You're not helping. Okay, I don't want to help.
This is getting a bit boring now. Surely be to God, you're getting tired of this. Or maybe you're drawing along. If you are drawing along, fair play. Well, I just feel a bit better if you are, because it feels to me like you might be happy enough with lots of long spells of quiet.
So you're not getting
I wonder if you can hear the conversation beside me here about the sandcastle and stuff. It's kind of keeping me going a little bit. Right, so I'm still using the dark grey for parts of the sky and to kind of make the Lighthouse stand out a little bit. So Maisie's going to be, Lily's going to take Maisie out today. It would have been just far too much. Can you imagine her here now? Like, it would have been really tricky for me. Maisie's our dog. She's 10 months old now. I keep saying she's 10 months, you know, she's nearly 1. I just kind of feel like I can get away with stuff if I say, or she can get away with stuff if she's not quite 1 year old. Something about being 1 means that she needs to be more sensible. God help us. Right, so I've got this now on the long length of, I may as well use it when I put it on there. Something good and, you know, bringing in some variety into the marks, I think, is always a good thing. And then there's this other colour, it's oil pastel. It's like yellow ochre, and that might work for the lighter bits over there. So I've closed my eyes again to see what happens here. It's like goldy kind of sand. Could have a bit of that in it. I don't know if you can hear my tummy rumbling. I suppose you can't with the wind. But I feel like I definitely deserve those fish and chips today. And Port's eaten. Sunset is lovely. Of course it won't be sunset. Well, it surely be to God I'll be gone before then. We'll see. But the high tide anyway is at 4, so that might be a good time for me to have my swim and head off. See the people next to me here camped here last night. Can you imagine waking up in the morning to this view? Okay. Yeah, I'd say I'm just carrying on because it's quite pleasing sitting here and chatting, tipping away at that. Let me show you what happened. There, can you see the island? I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't really see. The screen looks black to me, but there it is anyway. And that's the one from earlier. It'll be on another video. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I am being a little bit subdued because I'm kind of overlooked here. People are watching. Okay, all the best.